He says that many times or repetition of this question is there. He gives a reason for this, and he says the reason is he wants to know that this creation which Lord does, and it is repeated in cycles. So does he create in the same fashion every time, or creation is done in different way? This is the reason for repetition. Because it is going on eternally. There is no counting how many times the world has been created and then destroyed. So his question is that, is the process every time same, or there any changes? So this is the reason. Bhinna rupavati iti jigyasa. Then he says, Kridan vidhatte dvijagau suranam Shemaya karmanyavatar bhedaihi Mano netripyatyapi shinvatamna Sushlokamoles charitamritani. Says that Lord, He takes various forms and then performs various activities, and these activities are His play, Kridam. Although He is working, but it is not called work because it is like a play for Him. Therefore He is relishing it. He is not tired. In the Bible they say that God created for 6 days and then He was tired. Then He took rest on 7th day. But here they say that it is a play for Him. And while playing also you get tired. But He is not tired. So He goes on playing. Therefore He says, Kridam vidhatte dvijgausuranam kshemaya. So He takes various avatars, various incarnations of God, and performs various types of activities. His activities are mainly for the benefit of Dvija, Go and Sura, for the benefit of the Brahmanas or the scholarly people, for the benefit of cows, and for the benefit of demigods. So Lord comes to help, because the maintenance is done by these people. As said earlier, that there are 3 activities of the Lord, that He creates, He maintains, and then He destroys. So maintenance is done by coming in this world and performing activities to protect the scholarly people, Dvijas, Brahmanas, the Vedic scholars, or devotees, cows, and the demigods. So this for these 3. So these are necessary for maintenance of the world. So if we want peace and happiness and maintenance in this world, then we have to protect the Brahmanas. Brahmanas means those who are dedicated to the study of the Vedas and for the propagation of Vedic knowledge. So they must be protected, maintained. And then cows, not that you kill a cow and eat meat. Cow is very necessary for the upliftment of this universe, because cow purifies the atmosphere and it supplies milk, which is necessary for the brain, especially to understand God. Cow milk is necessary. and it supplies natural fertilizer in the form of carbon. So it is a very unique creation of God, that if you want to live a healthy and balanced life without polluting the atmosphere, then cow protection is very important. And then there are suras, there are in charges of various material elements like water, air, fire. All these elements have their presiding deities and they maintain them. So it is also necessary to worship them by doing fire sacrifice and keep the elements pure. So this is the way the universe is maintained. So now, because people are not having faith in the scriptures and not following this process, then the universe is polluted. There is global warming and air pollution, water pollution, and beyond everything else there is mental pollution. The biggest pollution is in the mind of human beings. And when human mind is polluted, then everything is polluted. Human beings are the big polluters. The other animals don't pollute so much. They are part of the cycle. But human beings have great capacity to pollute. Wherever they go, they pollute. This is their great ability. They are born with this characteristic. So it is the duty of human beings to maintain and to teach to human beings. God comes in various forms and performs his activities so that we can learn from that. That's why it says Kridan Vidhatte Vibho Suranam Kshemaya Karmani Avatarabheni. That Lord, he is playing, he is performing various acts, and by his own behavior he is teaching to us so that we can learn by hearing his activities. We like to hear, so it is also good to hear about God's activities because they are very illuminating. They are done for welfare of humanity. So as we read biographies or we read newspaper, we watch movie, video, YouTube, so many things, listen to radio. So we can also hear about God, and that will increase our knowledge and help us to elevate our consciousness. So therefore he says, Manona tripyati api sunvatam. He says, we are never sated by hearing about God. And there is always eagerness to hear more and more. So sloka maules charitamritam. Why is that? He says, because his charita, his character is like nectar. It's like you drink something very tasty, so you go on drinking it, and of course if you drink, then you have a limited capacity to hold in your stomach. But if you are hearing, then your ears are never filled with it. The ear have immense capacity. It goes in and stored. So this is the way to purify our mind. We are talking about making the world clean. So first we have to clean our mind, because the real impurity is in the mind. And if our mind is clean, then the world will become clean. If mind is impure, then world will remain impure. And how to purify the mind? It will happen by hearing the wonderful activities of God. Shloka Maulis Charitamritam. So his activities are called ambrosial, nectarian, very sweet. And when they enter in the heart, then they remove the dirt from there. So there is not much to say on this verse in the commentary. He only says, Avatar Bhedair Matsya Kurmadi. There are various avatars of the Lord, as the Lord also comes as a fish, as a tortoise, Vamandev, Ram, Krishna, so many forms. Yaistatva bhedairadilokanatho lokan alokan sahlokapalan achikripadyatra hi sarvasatva nikaya bhedodhikrita pratita. So his next question is that, please explain to me about the various tattvas or ingredients, the various divisions with which Lord has created the different planetary systems. There are heavenly planets, hellish planets, earthly planet, the sky, and then there is something which is beyond the planets, Alokan. So these planets which we see, that is not the only creation, there is also something which we don't see. That is called Aloka. Loka means which we see. Like in English we have the word look. Look means to see. From that only we have the word Loka. So there is also Aloka. Beyond the visible planets, there is a creation of the Lord which is invisible. So he wants to know about that. There is a mountain which is called a Loka mountain. And beyond that mountain, nothing is visible. This is described here. So he wants to know what is visible in this Loka mountain and what is beyond that, Aloka. Sarvasattva Nikaya Bheda says the various types of living beings. So Darwin's theory says that everything evolved from the cell. In the beginning, one cell came into existence. Then from that everything manifested. So here they say that God created himself. So he wants to know how he created it. So God actually created the DNA for every species, and they became manifest. Tattva Bhedair Vairaj Padadibhi. So Tattva Bheda means Vairaj. Vairaj is place of Brahma. Prithviyadir Lokan Pataladin Alokan. So Prithvi means the earth. This is the Loka, visible planet. Then there is Patal. There are 7 lower planetary systems and 7 upper planetary systems. Alokan Loka Parvatad Bahir Bhagan. Alokan means the part which is beyond the Loka mountain. Achi Kripat Kalpayamasa. How did he create all this? Yatra Yeshu Sarva Prani Nikayanam Bhedo Nana Vishesho Adhikrita. And in all these planets there are various types of living beings. It is not that there is life only on earth. According to scriptures, every planet, stars in the sky, there is life everywhere, whether it is moon or sun or Jupiter or Mars or other, everywhere there is life. Only thing is that life in each planet is of different type. On earth we have earthly bodies and we need specific type of ingredients for our survival. On those planets the life is suitable for those. They can survive on those planets. But there is life everywhere. There is no place in this universe where there is no life. Because why will God create like this? So therefore he says Nana Vishesho Adhikrita. Adhikrita means suitable or capable of living. So they all have their specific characteristic which makes them survive there. Bhakti Gyan Yoga Karma Di Adhikari Bhavet Pratita Khyato Abadhitas. And says that in the material world, Sarvasatva Nikaya Bhedo Adhikrita Pratita, it also means that here people on earth, they have capacity or qualification to follow different paths. There is path of action or karma yoga, there is path of knowledge, jnana yoga, path of devotion, bhakti yoga. So there is qualification needed for each path. And different people have different qualifications. So he would like to know what is the qualification to follow karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, bhakti yoga, or whatever other types of yogas are existing. Because every path has some qualification. So he says, please explain that to me. येन प्रजानामुत आत्मकर्म रूपा विधानां च विदां व्यधत्त नारायणो विश्वषड आत्मयोनिर् एतच्च नो वर्णय विप्रवर्य. So he says that Lord, he created the various divisions, and the divisions were done according to the activities, the qualities of people. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhaga. So we have all different character, different qualities, and accordingly there are different divisions made, and there are different names given according to the qualities. So Atma Karma Rupa Vidhanam. The names are given according to the action and according to the form. So different species have different forms, and because of their form, because of their nature, because of their activities, they have their names. When we give a name to somebody, then we give name according to the characteristic, according to the function that object or the person performs. If we call somebody as a carpenter, then we call him carpenter because he works with wood. We don't call him carpenter that he's painting cars. That is carpenter. So according to the karma, action, and the nature, the name is given. So in the beginning of creation, who gave these names? Lord himself gave them. Later on human beings gave name. So this name giving is very important thing. When a child is born, then first thing you do is give a name to the child. So now we may give names according to our liking, James, Charles, William, or Rama, Krishna. But previously in India, the custom was that child is born, you call an astrologer, he will make a horoscope, and then he will predict what kind of characteristics this person will have, and then accordingly a name was given. So name was suitable to the character of the person. So in the beginning, the names were given like this. So why water is called in Sanskrit as Jalam or Vari, or why the earth is called Prithvi, they have a meaning in it. In Sanskrit, every name has a meaning, and from the name itself one can understand the character or the function of that object. So therefore he says that Atma Karma Rupa Abhidhanam, that according to the Swabhav, the nature, karma, the action, the Rupa, the form. So either by seeing the external form or by seeing the action performed, the function of that object, or the internal nature, the name was given. So like Vidura has name Vidura because he is knowledgeable, intelligent. And Maitreya is called Maitreya because he is son of Mitra, or he is friend of the universe. So the names are given according to their character. But in the beginning of the creation, God himself has given the name. Like when child is born, then we teach him and we point to the eye and we say, this is eye, and this is nose, this is mouth, this is hand, this is hair. So then he understands the name with the object. Name and object, they are interrelated. And then name has the power to indicate that object. So Asmat Sabdat Ayam Artho Bodhavya, this is called Shakti, or there is a power in the name. And by that power, it makes you understand that object. So originally this Shakti was given by God himself. This is called Ishwar Sanketa, or his will. And later on, human beings have also done that. So that is being described here. उत अपि च येन प्रकारेण जीवानाम आत्मा स्वभावः तदनुसृतं कर्म कर्मानुसृतं रूपं रूपानुसृता अभिधा तासां भेदं कृतवान् नारायण एव विश्वसृग विश्वसृष्ट्यर्थम आत्मयोनि ब्रह्म सनित्यर्थ. So he says that Lord Krishna or Lord Narayana, he in the form of Brahma, he made various divisions and gave names according to the form, and form was dependent on the action, and action was dependent on the nature. So we perform action because we have a particular nature or qualification, or an object is also performing some function because object has that quality. So action is dependent on the quality or on the nature, and then the form is also dependent on the action. So this was done by the Lord at the beginning of creation. So he wants to know that how did he make all these divisions, which means what are the various types of living beings, because there are living beings who do not have eyes, and there are living beings who see things only by smell, and there are others who have smell and sense of touch, and then there are others who have sense of touch and they can also taste. So human beings have 5 types of senses, but there are others who have 4, 3, 2 and 1. And then there are objects which have no senses, like stones. So he wants to know the various divisions of living beings, moving, non-moving, and divisions within moving and non-moving according to their qualities, actions, and form, and how Lord divided it. So this is his question. He's continuing to ask more questions, which we will read in tomorrow's class. Any question on the question?
What is meaning of the jal?
Meaning of
The jal
Jal?
and the priti that you say that the earth is priti and the water is jal.
Prithvi, because it was harness, what do you call, adopted by Prithu. The word Prithvi comes from the name Prithu. Prithu was a king, and he was the first one who started farming and made earth flat. Otherwise it was all up and down, up and down. There was no flat ground. So he had a big earth moving equipment like the JCB machines, you see, and he flattened so that people could do farming. So because of him it became known as Prithvi, and Jal means which flows.
So it contains the characteristic, basic characteristic.
Yeah.
And about this 5, 4, 3, and 2 and 1 sense that all everybody having this some of these characteristics in the world.
Like ants are there, they don't see, they're smelling, they're going.
Because this human being, they have this, you say that the people, the other entities, they are not, they are functioning because they are programmed like that.
I did not say that.
I mean, it seems like that we can take this.
You are saying it.
Seems that the entities are working just like following a specific program. And a dog here is a dog in India behaving like a dog in Europe. It's a dog and behaves.
They follow their instinct.
So that, but
Human beings also follow their program, only thing is they think that they are not following. That is the only difference. Human beings think that they are independent when they are actually as good as animals. Animal is following his nature. Human beings also follow their nature, but they think that I am independent and I am making decisions. The difference is only in thinking. Unless one has control over one's mind, everybody is an animal. Only different variety of animals. Some animals have 4 legs, some have 2 legs. And 2-leg animal is more dangerous than 4-leg animal. Because 2-leg animal has got 2 hands. And hands can be very dangerous.
the question is this destructive power that the humans have.
They have also constructive power and destructive. They have power. You can use it for construction or destruction, that depends on the mind.
Okay, because you were saying when the mind is polluted, then everything becomes polluted.
And then destruction. And even if they construct, they destruct.
The consciousness exists separate from the sense organs,
Yes.
the eyes and all that. But I thought that the consciousness, which is called the chitta, it works through the mind. Like the mind is the container of that chitta.
Chitta is separate, mind is separate.
I thought that one was the container and chitta.
No. Chitta is separate, mind is separate.
So chitta does not need any basis, foundation to function? Or?
Chitta is basically a storehouse of your memories.
But it doesn't need a vehicle
For what?
to function?
Vehicle what? It stores. Like you have a hard disk, it stores. So what does it mean? You put a program in, it stores it.
Because you were saying that there are things that function with 5 senses and with 4 and then with 0, like a stone. But we also know that a stone also has a very small consciousness.
And it has no chitta.
So it has no chitta. That's why I was thinking. So it exists independently. That consciousness exists independently of the stone.
Consciousness always exists independently, only thing is that it becomes manifest in the body. Consciousness is in the soul,
And in the stone. But
where it exists. Everywhere there is consciousness. There is also universal consciousness, cosmic being.
so how do you call this consciousness in Sanskrit?
Chetana.
The chetana. It's not the chitta.
No, chitta is separate. Chetana manifests through a medium. And Chetana is the quality of the soul.
Is stone a living entity?
Stone is only the body. Living entity is soul.
So it means stone